everybody, it's me, Mr. Santee. Rob McNell's coming live from You Build It Santee, and I'm here with my buddy Eddie Vandiver. Now, Dustin Trotter will be here later. He's actually at a Slim Sub meeting. He's doing the people's work and making sure that that our fire department and emergency services are running perfectly in East County and the serving areas. So he will be here when he can. But right now, you get us, and I'm sorry. I just apologize now. You're stuck with us. Eddie, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Very, very good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Super excited to be here and checking out the new digs over here at You Build It Santee.
You haven't been here yet?
I've been here for the opening.
The grand opening, yeah.
Grand opening,
so, yeah.
but you guys have, grown into it a little bit.
Yeah, there's just more crap.
Okay.
Just like,
well,
like after you move into any place, what do?
It's just you find more stuff. That's right.
Yep, yeah. We've done that.
I love it.
We've
I love it. It looks great.
Dustin's got his samples of flooring and
that took up
doorknobs and yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah, crown molding.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anything you
I
want,
love it.
He's got samples of it. So anyways, we are here at You Build It Santee, who is our sponsor for the show, and we appreciate them for doing this. But we are here to talk, just talk about you, man. Talk about Eddie. What makes Eddie tick, my brother?
Talk about me. My least favorite thing to do.
And that's, you know what? That is probably true.
Yeah.
You're not the typical person that just, oh, my favorite topic is me.
My favorite color is blue. And no, it's I really appreciate you having me here today because I watch your guys' podcast every week. And,
appreciate that. You're the one.
I'm the one.
Actually, you and KP.
Me and KP, which I don't know if she's on there yet, but hi KP if you're there. From Idaho.
From Idaho, yeah.
Multi-state reach.
Dude,
is what I think
we are international.
Oh, international.
Yes. Just ask me.
But those of you who don't know me, I am a Santee resident for a long, long time. I've been working in Santee for a really, really long time. I currently am the president and general manager over at Sportsplex USA, your place to play. You can see that there. Little shameless publicity.
Yes.
That is a 15-acre section of Town Center Community Park, which is just over by the YMCA and Rio Seco School. We have 3 baseball fields, 3 soccer fields, a restaurant, batting cages. We host about 1,000 people a day. A little over 400,000 people came through the gates last year. We host everything from little kid baseball, little girl softball, adult softball, soccer, flag football. I mean, anything that you need grass for, we can host that. And then we also host corporate events. We just had a great meeting there yesterday with the Veterans of East County group. Hi, Susan and Priscilla, if you're watching. Had a great turnout yesterday. So we love hosting community events. And I've been there for those of you who know about Sportsplex, this is going to make you feel really old. We just turned 16 years old.
That is crazy. So it was just when I got elected that it opened up.
That's right.
And that's really where I met you. I didn't really know you before. I barely knew Bill before that.
Yeah.
Just because of the meetings and showing up. I attended all the meetings before I actually got elected.
Yeah.
Much like you do now.
Yeah.
So it's good how this all kind of comes back around over time, and
I know,
it is kind of crazy that it's been 16 years that the complex has been open, and it's had some changes over the years. Now it has a little soccer thingamajigger.
We added a third little mini soccer field for the kiddos, for the 3 to 5 year olds. We put a
soccer
office that wasn't there when we opened. We put a $700,000 solar system with canopies in the parking lot.
So this is a city park. It's a city park that you guys run.
Right.
Who paid for the soccer office, the soccer field, and the solar?
We did. So when the
taxpayers didn't pay for it?
Taxpayers didn't pay for it. So when we had
that's a good public-private partnership.
The contract was signed with Sportsplex and the city of Santee 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was because the city back then had redevelopment funds before the state clawed those all back.
Stole,
yeah. And so they had this dream to build this huge park, which finished some stuff at the YMCA, some stuff over at the Girls USA softball fields, and then also the huge park just south of us where they do the concerts in the park, which we will talk about later. Because
Yes.
tonight
We have
Is
our
the
final
night.
concert.
And so it was all part of a huge 55-acre project that the city had to build for parkland because of redevelopment funds. The only thing is that when the city builds a park, you then have to operate the park, and those usually become drains on the general fund. So the then council had foresight to say, hey, why don't we examine the possibility of having a firm come in and operate this park? And
Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that.
we had, thank you, Joe, producer Joe. We had the fortune to, and I say we, I wasn't part of the group then, but Sportsplex USA has operated our Poway facility since 1994. So we were one of many national bidding firms that applied for it and were chosen back in 2003 to operate the park once it was built. So the city had money set aside. It was all from development. It was all from developers. It was no
developers, yes,
Right.
and redevelopment.
and
Yeah.
it was
It was
no
park and loop fees and redevelopment.
right.
fees.
And so that money again had to be spent on something for parks. So we built the park, we moved in, and then the city has not paid a penny of taxpayer dollars since we moved in. We cover the water bill, the light bill, and so not only
And
is
the
there
maintenance of the fields.
the maintenance of the fields, we program it, we collect all the money, we staff everything, and then at the end of the year, we've been giving the city for rent an average back of about $250,000 a year. So instead of the city losing $1 million a year, I shouldn't say losing, investing or spending out of the general fund $1 million a year
to maintain a
to,
park.
to maintain a park, they actually have the ability to use some rent money from us, which is a percentage of our gross revenues, and that money is then reinvested into the parks, other parks in Santee.
Yep. Versus the YMCA. YMCA pays they pay us $1 a year.
Right.
And then they just maintain everything. You pay $260,000 a year.
Right.
And plus maintain everything.
Correct.
And provide services for the community at the same time.
Right.
It's
It's a win-win.
it's a pretty good win-win.
Yeah, we've been super great. We've been super happy. We've been full. There's not really a whole lot of room. This year we had 56 tournaments booked, which is weird because there's only 52 weekends, but we have every weekend booked plus 4 additional tournaments during
During
weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just packed, and the demand. We have 800 and something kids every Saturday that come in and play soccer. Most of them are Santee residents. If you're watching now, you probably either your kids are currently
Hey, Rebecca.
in there, or we will be. You will either have had kids that have played baseball or soccer or something at the Sportsplex.
I agree, Linda.
I've even got kids now working for me in like the ticket booth in the restaurant who played soccer when they were 3 and 4 years old
Oh my goodness.
at the park.
That's
So
funny.
That makes me feel a little bit old, but that's okay.
But it's but it's cool at the same time.
It's
Because you were
very
there
cool.
you were there from day one.
Been there since day one. I
You-
started 6 months before we opened
Right.
up at our Poway location, learned their systems, rewrote some of them, because
Well,
Bill.
And well, not only
And,
that, because you have a background in it, you were before that you were in hospitality management.
I was at the Chili's restaurant
Yeah.
on Mission Gorge. In fact, before the Trolley Square was built, I was there putting the sign out saying we're going to be building a Chili's here
And hiring.
and hiring. And then they built it up, and I've been super involved in business in Santee for a really long time.
One of the other cool things is, all right, so we ended up with Sportsplex USA as the partnership, but that actually worked out exceptionally well for us because Field of Dreams was another place that we were looking at, and there was another organization that was looking at it. But the reality was that it ended up working out especially good with Sportsplex USA because you had the sister facility in Poway, and that allowed you to do larger tournaments because you could have players at both parks at the same time and going back and forth, and it's not so far away when you have these national tournaments that you guys do.
Right.
And that was another big thing. I mean, if we had one of these other firms that they only had that one park, they'd only have access to that one park.
Right.
They wouldn't be able to organize these huge things that you guys do. You've done the firefighter and police officer Olympics. You guys have done military stuff there. You've done the gay Olympics you guys did there. You've done national tournaments.
Yeah, these,
You know,
in our summer times especially, we'll have national and international tournaments.
international, yeah.
So we just, June and July are our busiest months. It's when kids are out of school. It's when they're doing travel ball and traveling. We just had 4 weeks in a row. I should say 3 weeks break 1 week because Comic-Con week is a break in our action because hotel rooms are too expensive in San Diego. So we can't do a tournament that week, but we do have the other 3 weeks in July. We have national and international baseball and softball tournaments that this year we had teams from Japan, Korea, Canada, Hawaii. Many teams came over from Hawaii, teams from all the way back on the East Coast. I think one day we went through and we counted 16 different states' license plates in the parking lot, which is awesome because there's no reason why they would have come to sleepy little Santee if it wasn't for our park, our ability to partner with our Poway facility. But then also the great thing is when you have 100 teams come play in a baseball tournament, you can't all play on 3 fields or 6 fields. You need 25 fields. But what we've been able to cultivate in Santee is we do our opening ceremonies events where all 2,000 or 3,000 kids and their families come to Santee. We do a huge kickoff event. We do flyovers. Those of you guys who've seen on social media, I'll post on there on Santee happenings on Facebook, and I'll just say, hey, make sure to look up at 10 o'clock this morning, and we'll have these flyover events and, you know, the national anthem, and these do the first pitch, and we have vendors, and we have face painters and all kinds of stuff. And we do a big party. So the whole tournament starts in Santee at our facility. Then they go out for the week and they play at 25 different fields. My 3, Poway's 3, and then 3 at this place, 2 at this place, 5 at this place. And then at the end, when they finish the tournament, they finish back with
Santee,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that also, I guess, well, like you said, you're bringing people in from all over, but what they're doing in between games is hanging out in Santee.
Right.
They're going to the local restaurants. They're going to the local, drugstore. They're going to the CVS, to the Targets, the Walmarts, whatever, to get, things that they need, maybe scratch their knee or need a wrap or something of that nature. Their ice chest broke. They need a new ice, everything. You just all the nuances because they're not at home.
Right.
So they are traveling. They've got to go somewhere, and especially when they've won and they've got another game later on. Right. They're not going all the way back to a hotel someplace else and then coming back out here. They're hanging out here, and again, our restaurants and businesses get to prosper from that, and that's what is really, really huge. It's been a big boon to the city of Santee to have Sportsplex here and to have that public-private partnership. And the only other one that I can think of that's about as good is probably the one we did with HD Supply. That was another one that I personally worked on and brought into town. And we do a sales tax share and revenue program with them because all their sales are over the phone.
Right.
There's no distribution. There's no trucks coming in and out. There's not people. There's not traffic going into the building and out of the building. It's all telephone. But the sales are happening in Santee still, so we get the sales tax revenue from it. And they could have done that anywhere. In fact, other cities in the state were trying to attract them, and we were able to get them here in Santee. And it's still one of our big ways of getting sales tax revenue in the city of Santee and extra income is that shared partnership. And again, that was something that people were concerned with. Well, HD Supply, they're going to have these semi trucks coming in and traffic going to. No, it's not. It's all telephone sales.
Right.
They don't actually ship a doodad out of there. You know what I mean? It's just an office building. So these are things that most people don't know about that we have actually done that other cities are very jealous of. But these are things that we've done in order to try and push out additional costs in other manners. Mm-hmm. We try to be cost neutral and everything. We were talking to a developer earlier today, and They're like, oh, well, you know, other cities just, you know, jam it to the developer and all that stuff. We're cost neutral. We're not trying to jam it to you, but we're making sure everything is paid.
Right.
Whatever it costs us to get this project across the finish line on our side, that's what that's what our staff's getting paid for.
Right.
And so you have to do that. But we're not trying to make $1 million off of pushing paperwork through and delaying it longer and longer so it costs more money. You have to be, you know, we got to be pro business at the same time. And that's another part of it, is getting out of the way. Unlike what you experienced opening up Sportsplex USA, 7 years, like you said, 7 years it took to build that thing out.
And a lot of that, in all fairness, was not the city of Santee's.
Not entirely the city of Santee.
It was a lot of state, you know, the regulations with moving a bird's nest and, you know, rerouting this and that and all that stuff. So, yeah,
Flood zones.
Regardless, it was a long journey, but super worth it. We're kicking, you know what, over there, filling it up. Our relationship with the city has been amazing. We've been able to, you know, every single one of our rent checks doesn't bounce. You know, and
Okay, none of them.
And yeah, none of them.
Not everything. Not just every single one doesn't bounce. No, none of them have ever bounced.
That was kind of a double negative.
Yeah, that was not good.
None of them bounce. They're all early. They're all turned in way early, and yeah, no, it's just been a great relationship, and I think we've got 22, 23 more years on our contract, so we're looking forward to just continuing on doing what we're doing, and then, you know, passing it on to the next generation.
But
so.
you know what you've done is like, okay, so the owner of Sportsplex, Bill, was, you know, him and I are really good friends, but there have been times, in fact, I think it's been about 3 times in particular that we were not very good friends because I wouldn't support him in the city paying for the soccer booth, the additional soccer field, and the solar.
Right.
Because I was, you know, I said that's you guys are the proprietors. You're gonna get the benefit out of it for the next so many years, or, you know, at the time I think it was like 10 or 15 years. He's like, okay, well then let us get our money out of it. Let's extend the lease. Okay, you guys have been, I mean, we already had 15 years of prosperity from you. 80s.
He's got his 80s shirt for the
Dustin just arrived. You're gonna see.
That's awesome.
So we've had years of prosperity with the organization, and saw how well that they maintain you guys maintain the fields. It only makes sense. Okay, let's extend this out, and now everybody's good. But you invested into a city park. You don't get to take those things back with you when you leave. That becomes part of the park that is now into perpetuity for the city of Santee. Yep. At the end of your lease, whether we choose to extend with Sportsplex, or you guys go away, or we, you know, go with somebody else, or we keep it as a city park from that point on, which I think would be silly, because we've seen that that the public sector does it better. I'm sorry, the private sector does it way better than the public sector does. It's way more efficient. Everything seems to be more efficient when the private sector does it than anything in government. But nonetheless, if we extend, we do, great. If not, we don't, great. But everybody got their money's worth out of it, and you guys are good stewards and enhance the property. You're going to leave it better than when you got it, and not everybody does that.
That's the goal.
That's
goal.
what you've done. That's what you've done.
And the goal is to, you know,
and Bill eventually gets over it, and he gets over being mad at me, and then you get back to making money.
Bill and his dad opened up the Poway Park, you know, started that process 40 years ago, and he was just, you know, knee-high to a grasshopper. And he is a really, really smart businessman, and he's looking out for his company and his business, and I get it. But, you know, and this might be a segue, but as I'm dipping my toe into politics, you know, sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture when it comes to cities and making decisions on spending money. So
agreed. And you know, we all try and do that. I always say, you know, we want to begin with the end in we'll see later. We want to begin with the end in mind, and that's how we should look at every project. Not how it's going to look today, but in 20 years, 30 years, how is this going to look?
Right.
Is it going to stand the test of time? Is the building going to is it going to look like something we want to see 20 years from now?
Yep.
Dustin,
What up, y'all?
We just gotta scoot down. You gotta scoot over.
I gotta scoot over and let it scoot in.
There we go. Let's get cozy.
Let's get cozy.
Because
Gotta
it's not
reframe,
warm
baby.
enough.
Gotta reframe.
It's not warm enough in here as it was.
Yeah.
Reframe.
What's going on with that? You guys
I like it. It doesn't bother me at all.
pay your
These
electric
guys,
bills
you're
or
right.
what? I mean,
No, I'm paying the electric bill ain't cheap. It's, I need them to come serve it. The whole thing.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
there
Okay.
we go.
The whole thing took crap a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
so
no.
they need to come make sure it's all.
Can you show everybody that shirt? Because we can see. For those of you who don't know,
How could you miss it?
yeah, for those of you who are looking for Dustin tonight,
You will definitely
see
see
his
him.
shirt. There it is, Betamax tonight.
Yeah.
80s, kicking it over there in the Town Center Park at the concerts. Last one of the year.
Yeah.
Very last one.
Big thank you to the city for putting those on.
Actually, you
and for-
know what? I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
give a big thank you.
Hold on.
Yeah, I want to give a big thank you to Lantern Crest.
Yeah.
Lantern Crest in the Heritage Steakhouse, which isn't open yet, I know, but they promise it will be coming soon.
So last
Ish.
week, if you were at the concert or not, we had an enhanced sound system or sound, out there. You could hear the music all the way back at the food trucks.
Which
last
is
week.
the way
was
it used
so
to
great.
be.
The way it's supposed to
It
be.
was so
Actually,
great.
But honestly, we just couldn't afford it
couldn't
anymore.
afford it. So a sponsor came in, threw some extra coin down, and helped out getting extra speakers.
They
better
actually
sound.
walked through.
So tonight,
Hold on. They actually walked through. They had one of the people there kind of walked through and was out the back getting some food and said, you can't hear us. The quality isn't the greatest. What do you guys,
Mhm.
actually kind of a little bit of a complaint. I'm like, yeah, half the crowd says the same thing to us all
Right.
the time.
Yep.
But it's an additional cost.
Yep.
So they said, well, then how about if we just pay the additional cost?
Mhm.
And the additional cost is like $2,500 per show.
per concert,
So
per week.
yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, so
Wow.
yeah, exactly.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is why nobody did it, including the
Right.
city. We weren't
Yeah,
gonna fund it.
we couldn't fund it.
Yeah.
We don't have the
Times,
funds.
times
Yeah.
what? 8 concerts?
No,
Is
10.
20
10
grand?
con- 10
Oh, is there 10?
Yeah.
10 concerts.
25,000.
So Lantern Crest stepped up and they did pony up the money. I mean, like immediately.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
through the foundation, and
Yep.
then the foundation paid it, and so we now have our concerts that you can actually hear the music,
Yeah.
just like 4th of July.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic. It is very noticeable. I mean, last week to the week before, it's
So
absolutely
So
noticeable.
tonight with Betamax, the crowd's it's gonna be a bigger crowd,
Yeah.
better music. I mean, it is going to be
Better
the
sound.
sound. All of it's gonna be great tonight.
Yep.
So
I will just say, in all fairness,
No fireworks though.
No.
No fireworks.
no
Sorry.
drones
no
either.
drones, no
No drones,
fireworks.
no fireworks.
I will just say that back when the concert started, that was more than enough sound because you get 400 or 500 people showing up.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
has
back in the day, yeah.
grown so huge because it is such a good product that the community services department puts on. The agency that they hire to hire the bands, hire amazing talent. It has grown. There's several thousand people out there every single week.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, it definitely is a great thing that it's increased from just a Joe Schmo guy who's there and likes to hear the sound and stuff. I like to sit right in front of
Whoa.
a certain
Just
speaker.
just a Joe Schmo.
I'm not a city guy. I'm
No.
not but
You're not in a band,
I'm in a band.
so you understand.
Of course I do. But I'm also saying that there's a lot of people there who I think are going to be super excited about having that extra sound there.
Yeah.
So thank you to Mr. Grant and everybody over at Lantern Crest.
Absolutely.
And, for doing
Con,
that kind
Grant,
of sponsorship.
Mr.
Con,
Grant,
everybody. Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. It's night and day. It really is. So
Yeah.
if you went out to a couple concerts in the beginning, please show up tonight. You'll be blown away at the difference. It is fantastic.
So I don't know what you guys talked about in the first 15, 20 minutes. Obviously, I came with a shirt tonight for tonight, give a little something. But I brought something else.
Oh my!
I brought something else.
Oh,
so
boy.
I
No.
want to show you guys this. I pulled
Oh,
this
my.
out.
Holy smokes.
Look at that skinny guy.
Wow.
What the heck? My
Are you
goodness.
talking about you or me?
I'm talking about you, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that is me on the end
That's-
about 105 pounds ago.
Yeah, that is
Uh,
me in the lighter blue.
That's-
yeah.
You,
Damn it.
You were a little smaller there. Too.
Yeah.
You were a little smaller.
Actually, Dustin
I
was a little
bigger. Dustin Dustin might have been a little smaller there
A little bit
too.
smaller still too.
But that's okay because we just evolve as we get a little older. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Good pull, dude. That was great. Oh, that was Bill also. That's the one.
Oh yeah,
that's
that's the owner of Sportsplex USA.
But we've just been talking about Sportsplex and
how it got started and what they've been doing.
How it works with the city and all that other stuff, to where we have this great asset in the city, and the city doesn't have to spend any money for it.
Public-private
In fact,
partnerships.
you make money from it, which is great.
A lot of people come to Sportsplex USA, not only weekly, monthly, but annually. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah, we talked about what's where do they stay afterwards? What do they eat? Where do they shop? Because that when they're waiting for the tournament to start or waiting for the next game, it's kind of a captive audience, and we've been able to take full advantage of that in the city and garner some good sales tax revenue from it, over and above just what we get from the rents type of thing.
Right.
I will say that there's at least 3 restaurants that I know of, Buffalo Wild Wings, Chili's, and Phil's, who all look at our calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when we're having one of the bigger events, they staff up because they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Especially like a weekday when it's a Tuesday and they've only got a handful of staff because it's not a normally busy day. If we have an event going on, they double their staff.
Well, we talk about, we've talked about even on this show, what are our favorite restaurants in town, favorite dishes, things like that.
Yeah.
We tend to go to the mom and pop stores or the local stores that's there, but that actually makes a lot of sense because, y'all. So that actually makes a lot of sense.
Hi, Rebecca.
A lot of people are coming from out of town, there, and what are they used to? The chain stores,
Right.
right? So they gravitate towards the Chili's, the Olive Garden.
Was that Barry Jantz, by the way? Was that the East County Advocate? Was that Barry Jantz?
I think it is.
Nice
I think you're right.
last week.
Yeah.
Last week's a little better. That's what gets in. Smart seat.
The out of town people, they're going to gravitate towards the change, right? That's what they know.
That's
right. They don't know the great local fare that we have here.
Yeah.
The great taco shops, or the great,
Sushi,
burger, sushi, whatever.
Now listen, I'm a McDonald's guy. I'm happy with McDonald's. It's fine.
I actually am too.
We
Not gonna
went-
lie, I am too.
We just
Except
went
how expensive it's gotten. Even McDonald's is
I know.
expensive.
We were on vacation last week. All my kids wanted to do was go to McDonald's because that's what they know.
Yeah.
And we're just like,
Right.
let's go try that place.
Right.
That just is like a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or let's go try the food truck. Or let's go try this. And
This is in Hawaii. You went to the McDonald's in Hawaii?
that I'm saying they
Yes.
had a McDonald's in Hawaii, and that's where my kids wanted to go.
Yes.
But my point is like, to your point,
Yes.
people come into Santee
Yeah.
and they want to try, local fare, but they're like, oh, Chili's, we know what we're going to get with
Right.
Chili's. We know what we're going to get with Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, Phil's is an interesting little dichotomy there because it's not national.
No.
But when they come in and they see it and they drive by it and they
If
see
they
the smoke
smell
pouring
it,
out,
Hell, if they
Smell
flew into the airport, if they flew into the
They'll see
airport,
the
Well,
smoke.
depends what terminal. Terminal 1, Terminal 2.
Oh, it's in Terminal
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
okay,
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say they see the
Terminal
smoke.
1.
billowing.
no.
From cooking all the ribs all day.
No.
But
It's in the airport.
But I think a lot of people also recommend, if they're in town and they want to go try something
Yeah.
new that maybe they haven't tried before, a lot of people will send them to Phil's because they can maintain a bunch of other people,
Right.
and it's not so hole in the wall. But yeah, because these groups, they
Hey,
bring.
Barry.
I thought it was Barry. Hey, Barry.
Long time no see, Barry.
Last time I checked, Homo wasn't a city, but okay.
That's a good point. But anyway, segueing from Sportsplex,
Yes.
one of the other things going on in my life.
What else is going on in your life?
I'm glad you asked, Rob.
Absolutely. Tell us.
I made a decision. My wife and I made a decision
That's a better
couple
segue,
years ago that we were going to get involved a little more. We've always been very involved in the community.
Yeah. Well, you were president of the Chamber of Commerce.
president
as well.
of the Chamber of Commerce, still on the executive board of the Chamber, Santee Lakes Foundation Board of Directors.
Yeah.
I currently sit on the Manufactured Homes Fair Practices Commission.
Did you do anything with the Boys and Girls Club as well?
Not the Boys and Girls Club.
I all right.
I've done a lot of stuff with Forrest and
That's
Sammy
what,
over there, but so we decided to kind of take that a step further, and I announced last year that I was going to be running for District 2 Santee City Council in 2026. So we've been living there for a long time. There is someone that's been in that seat for many years, and it is, in my opinion, time for a change. So we threw our name in the hat, and as of last Friday, it's just
the two of you.
just the two of us.
Just
So
let's backtrack a little bit and be honest with the people, right? So you had interest 4 years ago in running for a seat,
Yes,
for
I
that
did.
seat, right?
I
And at that time, Councilman Hall, Ron Hall, was not ready to retire. He was not ready to vacate his seat at that point, right?
Right.
So you made a decision, collectively with talking to everybody, that it wasn't your time. It was still Ron's time. He, as an incumbent, as a elected official, you kind of get that nod, right? You get that, as long as you're doing a good job, you kind of get that nod, right? You get that respect.
Right.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
And so you made a decision to not run 4 years ago against Ron. And this time, last year, roughly, or before, Ron said he was not running. He was going to vacate his seat and leave his seat empty. So that was at the time that you decided to go ahead and declare your candidacy for that seat.
Right.
Right.
I never, my intention as a Republican, I'm a Republican, I'm a registered Republican. I never wanted to run against a Republican incumbent.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about the party, and I want to make sure that the party's strong. And if the people want to vote Republican, then great. That's what we should have in there. And I never wanted to open up the opportunity for someone else to go in there. So in 2022, I had heard grumblings that he may not want to run. So we expressed interest. I was informed by other leaders in Santee that he was going to do one more run in 2022, and then in 2026 he was going to be done, and that the support would come to me. So I backed down in 2022 out of respect for Ron and his service to the city, and he had already done 8 years on council. He was going to do 4 more, which brings us to this year where he's up to 12 now.
Yep.
And then he was going to retire and move on, as people do, and I would have the support of Ron and the party and everybody else. And then not that long ago, maybe around the beginning of the year, word got back to me that Ron had changed his mind and decided that he did want to run for a 4th term in 2026. So at that point, I'd already been down the road so far. I'd earned a lot of really great endorsements. The Santee Firefighters Association has endorsed me. The two best looking city council members on the Santee City Council have endorsed me. These guys.
It's a fact.
And four
guys.
Oh my goodness.
4 of the 5.
That's nothing against Laura. It's just 2 best looking guys.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. 4 of the 5 school board members for Santee have endorsed me. Phil Ortiz, from a council member from the city of El Cajon, has endorsed me. So I had already Lincoln Club has endorsed me. SMOAC, the Mobile Homeowners
Santee
Association,
Mobile
Homeowners.
Yeah.
They've endorsed me. So I mean, I've got a lot of support. I've got a lot of great people who also believe that seat just needs new blood, new ideas, new energy, and
energy.
So
Yeah.
I'm just here doing it, getting the word out, talking to people, sending stuff. So those of you who don't know District 2, my district, it basically goes from Woodside in the 67 up to El Nopal, the part that's not Lakeside. So all of the Santee stuff up to El Nopal, over to Magnolia, and then it kind of weaves down Magnolia and Cuyamaca all the way down to the airport, down to Gillespie Field, and then up to Sky Ranch. So that's kind of my district, District 2, and that's where I live, that's where Ron lives, and that's what I'm running for. So we're just, like I said, we're out putting the word out, introducing ourselves to people. A lot of people have been really receptive. A lot of people have been real positive when I've talked to them. A lot of people know me as the Sportsplex guy.
Yeah.
Which is great, having that, oh yeah, you're the Sportsplex guy. My kids played soccer there, or my son was in travel ball. We were there every weekend. You guys make the best hot dogs or whatever, I hear a lot, but we're just out knocking on doors and talking to people and spreading the good word.
And you are doing a good job of getting out and talking to people and kind of personal flesh and making sure people know who you are as a human being. but you've been involved in, I mean, you've been involved with your church. Your wife is a longtime Santee resident as well. Your kids been raised here. Like, you've got real roots in the city of Santee. Your wife was running the Miss Santee pageant for a while.
She was.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I will say my wife, and I get corrected on this. I usually say was. She will always be
a Miss Santee.
Miss La Mesa.
Oh, La Mesa. Oh, that's right.
1999.
That's right. I forgot
She
about
will
that.
always be Miss La Mesa 1999. And actually, those of you who know the former pageant director, Pam Wilson, and her husband, Doug Wilson, Pam was responsible for connecting Natalie and I.
Oh, wow.
She in fact, we got engaged in Pam and Doug's house.
Yes, I did know that part.
Unfortunately, we lost Pam many years ago. Yeah, Natalie, my wife, is amazing. My kids, my daughter just started high school.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think you held her as a baby.
Yeah.
I think you did.
100%.
And she was also a junior Miss Santee back in the day. She just started at West Hills High School.
I won't hold that against you.
Yeah, well, she's a theater kid, so she likes the theater program at West
Everybody
Hills.
has to make the choices.
Yeah. Dustin went to West Hills.
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah.
She wanted to follow in Uncle Dustin's footsteps.
Not the theater, I tell you that.
Well, I'll tell her to
You barely went to school at all to begin with.
That's true
You
too.
hardly showed up.
Yeah.
I'll tell her to take an industrial arts class.
There you go.
That'll be for Uncle Dustin.
There you go.
And she'll kill me for even mentioning that anything about her.
Yeah.
You had a teenage daughter once.
Oh goodness, she still doesn't want me to mention her. But admit to me.
We're all in on Santee. We're super excited and happy to take on this next role, and hopefully, God willing, we're gonna be able to move forward and get elected, and then see what we can do.
Okay, so you, much like myself and Dustin, didn't expect to just get elected and walk in and just be ready to go. We all showed up to city council meeting. I did it for 6 years. 6 years. I didn't miss a single council meeting in 6 years before I even ran for city council in 2010, because I wanted to know what was going on in my community and my city, and it was something I was very passionate about. And I lived 2 blocks away from City Hall, so it made it real easy.
That helps.
Dustin, you did it for about a year and a half at least.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, showing up, and now you've been doing it for about a year, like showing up to every single meeting and getting acclimated to seeing how is the budget run, what are the questions that are being asked, what should have been asked in your opinion, and things of that nature. And now you're seeing the new nuance of phone-in comment and how that's
Saw that
playing.
for the first time last night.
Yeah, that's how that's playing into it.
That's kind of new.
It's new, and we had
Take some time to get used to that, but I mean, anything that can give the people a voice. I mean, especially the citizens who have the ultimate voice, where they can elect who they want to elect, and trust that person's going to take their best interests in heart for the next 4 years. And then there's gonna be some people who have alternate ideas from what the council's doing, and
which is totally fine.
It's actually great.
I got called out.
You made a great point last night on the dais where someone you had made a challenge about something, and someone called you on that challenge, and you were like,
great,
super
great. Now, the reason that I took any exception to it at all was only because it was, the point I was trying to make was, if you're talking about a sales tax increase, and the reason for it is, there's just not enough revenue to go around, and your counterpoint is, well, it's because of waste, fraud, and abuse. Mm-hmm. Then let's find me the waste, fraud, and abuse. Show me where the city is wasting, taxpayer dollars, tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayer dollars, and all this. Because what I'm talking about is when I got elected in 2010, we had a capital basically a deferred maintenance plan, but it was because they didn't even call it a capital improvement fund, a plan rather back then, of about 110 million. But we had redevelopment money back then. We had builders coming that were going to be coming. Finita Ranch was going to be next year type of thing. Like that's what the thought pattern was at the time.
Right. And
this is how these things are going to be funded. So there was a plan for it. and then Finita Ranch got defeated again, and so that money was out the door. And then Governor Brown stole $11 million out of our coffers that was already planned for fire station improvement and an expansion of another. So those monies got, and that's when you could actually do stuff for $11 million.
Right. Yeah.
Now one is $27 million.
Right.
And so now our capital improvement plan is $328 million in deferred maintenance. It's
Right.
how? Why? Because we will run a balanced budget. We will run a balanced budget.
Right.
And so we're not going to deficit spend. We run a balanced budget. And so somebody was saying that, well, it's because of the waste and fraud. So they found some management. I'm going to say there are management issues of reports not being filed on time. And they were financial reports.
Yeah.
Right.
By other council members and some of our city staff.
Right.
Wasn't us, but it was some of the other, all the other council members, but not us. Is what it is. But because we don't use those funds. We use our own funds when we travel. When we do that, we pay for it. So we don't have to do that. But we don't have to file these reports. But others did. They still filed them. They didn't waste money. They didn't steal money.
Right, exactly.
They just didn't file in the right time frame.
I talked about this last night after, and so you're right. Last night, Mr. Shepard talked about the stuff he found, and I'm actually proud that he found that. I mean, just like you said, I'm actually super proud he found this because, honestly,
100%.
That's not our job. It's our city manager's job. It's our financial staff's job.
It is our city manager's job. And
Yes.
what have I been saying for the last 4 years prior to that?
Our previous city manager was mismanaging the city.
I've been screaming from the rooftops.
That's what has become
the
more.
management was not being
It's becoming
done
more
properly.
and more apparent as we've gone through these not only cycles but obviously gone through things themselves, right? So Mr. Shepard found some inaccuracies in filing and reporting and reimbursements and things like that.
And I agree with all of it.
I agree with all of it too. It's
was
100% accurate.
Yeah.
and give
I'm
back to
glad you called it out.
transparency. There is still no fraud. There's still no mismanagement of funds or misuse of funds. The funds are being reimbursed, for actual expenses. These are real expenses. It's not something that was made up, or it's not stealing money.
Right.
It just wasn't reported in the proper timelines or in what the city's charter is of how things are supposed to be done, who's supposed to put the signatures on things like that, right?
Which the manager should have been on top of.
100%. Between our city manager and our director of the department, whoever's a responsible party for those things. The
other thing that he had brought up, and he didn't quite get to it last night, but I know he's brought it up because he's filed the response on it, was Sportsplex USA.
Yeah.
Going from $2.50 to $3.
That's actually true. Yeah, I remember that now.
And you've got the letter that our interim city manager, Pedro,
2014, 2015, something like that.
that he had approved.
Authorized the
He had authorized that.
Yeah.
And it was another guy that I was like, no, he should not be. We're one of the coolest dudes I've ever met and hung out with, but you should not have been a city manager.
I wasn't elected at that time.
Yeah. So another reason, but again, to his point, mismanagement.
Yeah.
That is 100% accurate. That is nothing. Yeah. And it is our responsibility
100%
to oversee the manager, but you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And that's the top spot
right.
in a corporation
right.
until someone brings it to the attention of
right.
the we'll call it the shareholders
right.
or the majority board of directors, which is kind of what we are in de facto position of we don't know. And he did, and he brought it to our attention, and that's some stuff that needs to be
right.
needs to be dealt with. But that person's no longer here, so
right.
what can we?
No, you can't do it. But I told you this, Eddie. I think in our conversations and stuff. Our job is not to run the city as council members. That city manager's job is
95% of the decisions are made by the city manager.
Yeah, the city manager runs the city, runs the day-to-day operations. The city manager is responsible for every employee that is in there. We only hire 3 employees as a city council: the city attorney, the city clerk, and the city manager. Every other employee is hired by the city manager and reports directly to the city manager. Our fundamental role as elected as the city council members is to set the budget and set policy. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean that's our fundamental roles.
Yeah.
Everything else is to be there for the constituents, to help constituents go through. I mean, there's a whole slew of other things you can kind of add on top of that. But fundamentally, the role of the council is to set policy and approve the budget.
I always say it's, I mean, that is true, but I always say it's to make sure that the potholes are filled.
Well, that's
street
responsibility
lights
of government
and-
more than it is the.
And when you call
council.
911, that the
Yeah.
right person shows up with the right tool to save the day. That's our fundamental responsibility. But that's how we look at the budget, though. Overall,
Right.
These are the most important things. The most important things are making sure the roads are safe and travelable,
Mhm.
and no one's going to fall into a pothole because a corrugated metal pipe failed underneath the street that nobody looked at in 30, 40 years. So now we now scope them out because somebody made a big deal about it.
Yeah.
We now scope them out every 5 years.
So,
to make sure.
I don't know if everybody sees what's going around the community right now, talking about roads, right? So this summer, obviously, is a very large
paving project.
paving project. We got,
But it's not even just us.
well, it's not, but there's work being done all around the city, a lot of different streets, a lot of major arteries, thoroughfares. And so everybody sees a little bit more of it, not just some of the neighborhoods. In the past 5 years, we've done a lot of neighborhoods, right? Right now, you're seeing a lot of work being done on the major roads, Mass, Cuyamaca, things like that. Well, you also see a lot of pedestrian ramps being replaced, the handicap ramps, curb gutter sidewalks, new medians being repaired, things like that. And I had the question the other day from a constituent: why are you doing all this work? You're the city screwed up. You're too much traffic. I'm like, well, we're damned if we're doing, damned if we don't, a little bit, right? There's an economy of scale. We have to do this work in sections, but also together to try to get the biggest bang for the buck in there. But also
the staging. This is big equipment. You got to have it sit somewhere. It's got to sit overnight.
Right.
So the staging of equipment
Right.
is a big deal as to what you can do the next day.
But there's also different pots of money. So someone asked me the other day, a couple of days ago, it's like, why are you repairing this? Why are you doing this and not doing that, or not doing this, or why aren't you fixing this, or why are you fixing that? It was like I'm like, hold on, time out. Like, it's a bit much right now. But you
haven't had my coffee.
Yeah, you have SB1 money, you have Transnet money, we have state, this, we have all these different pots and pools of money that the average person doesn't understand. They're only can use for these certain things.
Yeah.
Right? We can't use this money for something else. We can't move this over here.
Yeah.
These are allocated funds for these specific.
Some funds have to be
things.
used for major thoroughfares.
Right.
Some can only be used for neighborhood improvements.
So
Some
gets
can
a
only be
little-
used for park improvements. Some can,
Yeah.
It's very true.
It is. So
And
right
you have
now,
you have to know how to stack that money in the
Right.
right buckets in order to save up enough so that you can have enough to do
Right.
what it's intended for. Because it's never enough. It's never enough to pay
it's never enough. Yeah.
anything on its own. We've always got to supplement that with part of our annual budget,
Right.
which we've been doing. So, what is your plan? How are you going to fix things?
How am I going to fix
How are you
things?
going to fix everything?
Yeah, fix it all.
Fix it all.
Yeah, come in.
Ron,
and,
you want to get elected? Fix it.
Yeah, fix it all.
In the first day?
Well,
Well,
duh.
that's where you start.
Oh. I really, it's a good question, and I've thought about it a lot. I really like Santee. I think Santee's running great. I don't think that there's a whole lot to complain about Santee. I think that there's not a whole lot of cities who balance their budget, who stick with it throughout the whole year. Things change a little bit here and there, but you make up for it in other areas. More money comes in, some extra money went out that you didn't want. But at the end of the year, it's always close. It's always right there. And there are the more and more I'm getting into this whole political skyline, I'm seeing that other cities, when they go to budgets, they pass the budgets with a $13 million deficit.
Yeah.
And, we're just going to make it up throughout the year. We'll
Figure it out.
Make it up. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. That's just kicking the can down the road.
It's the most irresponsible thing you can do as an elected official,
Right.
in my opinion. It's good.
Right.
But I've said this on the dais: is that there's not a chance in Hades I'll ever approve a deficit budget. We will cut everything that is non-essential before we approve a deficit budget.
And that's good. And you need to have people on the council who agree with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that my first area that I'm going to really look at is just making sure that the people in my district, that someone advocates for them. Because I see you guys both advocating for the people in your district when something comes up.
We advocate for anybody anywhere.
No, but what I'm saying is specifically if something, because like there was something that came up last night at the council meeting. There's an issue over at Cameron's
Oh, yeah.
mobile home
Yeah.
park. And I guess it's been going on for a couple weeks. It's not public knowledge. There's obviously the city. It's weird with mobile home parks
Because it's private.
it's all
property.
It's private property. It's
Yeah.
regulated by the state. You're talking about
Right.
seniors. You're talking about quality of life. You're talking about construction and SUG&E, and there's not a whole lot a city can do because the Cameron family owns that whole lot. It's not a public street or whatever else.
Not a public road. It's not. Yeah, it's all private.
But the fact that their council member didn't even get them a business card until yesterday, when it got brought up in a public meeting, that bothered me. Because if I had known about it earlier, I would have at least been out there to see how we could help. Maybe we can't help with streets. Maybe we can't help with, because it's all private property. We're not going to go in there and tell them how to run their own business.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But
Can't much as you want to.
But
Yeah,
what
you can't
but
do that.
What can we do?
Yeah.
And from a city standpoint, from a human standpoint,
Apply pressure, and put the residents
apply pressure,
and put the residents in touch with the organizations that
Right.
that do
The
deal
right
with.
people.
and that all
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
last night, which is great, and
Yeah.
it's heading in the right direction. But that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I want to be a voice for the people in my district. I want to continue on with the great work you guys have done within the city, because the city, I love Santee. I think it's great. I think that it's important to really focus on financials moving forward to make sure that we can get some more revenues coming in, however that looks. I think that it's important to not forget about infrastructure, because I know that's not really the sexy stuff to spend money on, but it's essential. It's
That's the
important.
number one thing, man.
That's the number one thing. And also, I would be the only, you guys as kids are grown.
Yeah.
I'd be the only council member with school-age kids. And what's concerns
I
for them?
remember when
right
I
now?
was.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
Damn. Damn.
I'm sorry,
I
guys.
remember that too, actually.
Damn.
I'm older than Dustin, and my kids are younger than him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go. But
Yep.
I think it's important
That's
too.
because he wasn't in school. He was doing other things.
Yeah. He had him when he was 15 years old.
16, but
16,
also
whatever. But I will say that I think every once in a while it's good to have, when somebody's been around for a long time, it's good to have potentially a new set of eyes come in there, especially when there's not a lot of excitement or suggestions coming from that seat. I just think that my district needs a new voice,
Well, I
fresh ideas.
told you both that it's just a leadership thing, and to begin with, it's you should always be looking for your replacement, and making sure that you have a good replacement that can ready, willing, and able replacement. So ready to actually do the job, the task at hand, willing to do the task at hand, and understands that you're gonna have a lot of people that thought you were the greatest thing since sliced bread until you did your first vote.
Right.
And then they hate you.
Right.
Even though the next door neighbor loves you, this other neighbor hates you because they don't agree on everything, and they both pay your salary.
And I've
willing.
worked in customer service. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I've worked in customer service for 35 years, and I know you can't make everybody happy.
You can't.
But I told Natalie this. I said, every night I got to look at my kids in the eyes.
Discipline is freedom, especially financial discipline. So says Zach.
So says Zach.
So it must be.
It must be. But I told my wife, I said, I got to look at my kids every night. So I'm going to tell everybody the same thing. I'm going to live by my standards, by my morals, by my faith, and let that drive me.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to the constituents and listen to the people within Santee. And then I'm going to make the best decisions that I feel the majority would want and would be best for the city. Is that going to make everybody happy? No, of course not. You're not going to make everybody happy.
No.
But it's going to be, if I'm blessed to be elected, it will be, in my opinion, the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because again, I have a conscience, and I want to make sure that we're doing things, again, based on my faith and what's going to be best for my family and for the people.
Well, now we do have term limits, so everybody's got a definite time frame by which they can govern. So like I said, making sure you're finding the right people to move on, having that exit strategy. I've got mine down the road. It's but doing what we can while we're here. Mine is not to go to Senate or Assembly or other office. Mine is to be done and say I've done the best I possibly can for the city of Santee, and you guys are now running the show and taking care of business in a way that I know is from the heart, because you bleed Santee like I do. You really are dedicated to the community and what you feel is best, not just sticking your finger up in the wind and seeing which way the wind's blowing and going that direction.
Right.
It's, that's easy. And the other thing, I say it all the time, is I'm just not smart enough to keep up with a bunch of lies. So whatever I say on the dais is the same thing I say in the street, the same thing I say in the neighborhood, same thing I say in the garage. It's the same thing. So, you like it or you don't like it. I understand that. It's, it may not always be everybody's popular vote, but 90% of the time, the majority is on the same page. It's a one-off thing. It'll be, whatever it may be. Like when I pushed to not have bees in your backyard.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people that were mad at me because they wanted to have beehives in their backyard. Like, well, that's just doesn't make any sense to me in a suburban city.
Right.
It just doesn't. We have 6,000 square foot lots. There's no reason we have beehives in the backyard when people are definitely allergic. Like my daughter, definitely allergic to bees.
Right.
You can't put a leash on a bee to keep it in your yard. Right. It's just, that's just natural. It's just life. I mean, things like that, they're one-off little nuances. We don't get a whole lot of those for the most part, but there are things that people are very passionate about. And you're going to have to make decisions on, and, it's going to make you unpopular about that decision, but you have to be able to stick to your guns and follow it through, whatever it may be at the time.
Right.
And I don't mean to say this just because I'm sitting with you guys and I'm trying to kiss anybody's butt or anything, but I will say that two things that I love most about you guys is that you guys are 100% consistent. So whatever you say in private is what you're going to say in public, which is what you're going to say on the dais. Neither of you are two-faced. Neither of you change your mind with the wind. Neither of you, but you guys have always been consistent. And that's what I think people are looking for, is people that are going to be consistent.
Except when they want you to change your mind. Then they don't like it so much.
They don't like it so much.
Yeah. And there is that. I mean, we change our minds. We get new information.
Absolutely.
Somebody comes up and provides new information, provides testimony that you're like, son of a gun, I never would have thought of that. Holy cow. That changes the whole perspective. All right, we need some more information on that. Let's see.
I'm talking about intent.
Yeah, no,
right.
I'm talking about saying something to someone,
right,
and
knowing
that's
not
not
what's
in your heart.
Yeah,
and then going and doing the complete
yeah, we
opposite.
know some people like that.
It's not a long time ago. Several years ago, had another elected official, much higher ranking elected official in this state and county, that said to me, "Here's the thing, Dustin. Just like Rob said, you're not going to please everybody. You're not going to make everybody happy. But at the end of the day, you were elected, you have to govern now. That's what it all comes down to.
It's not just getting elected. It's not just the popularity
now,
contest of getting
now
elected.
You have to actually
now you have to govern.
And whatever that perspective is to somebody else, the decisions have to be made. You don't get to hide behind, I'm not going to vote today because it's not popular, or I'm going to abstain from something because I don't want to have my vote on the record. That's not how the real world works.
Or counting how many people are in opposition and how many people are in support
That's
of something
not
in
how
the
the real
gallery
world
and then
works.
voting.
Taking a position.
Not that ever happens.
Yeah, taking a position and being honest, being truthful, not only to yourself but to everybody else, and this is it. Let's go.
Yeah.
There's a ton of respect there for you guys for that, because I know a lot of people know that you are unapologetically yourself. And,
good, bad,
and
right, wrong, or indifferent.
Good, bad, or indifferent. And there's no one that can say you're fake or that you are not honest, because you are. And there is no one, in my opinion, people that I've met, there's no one more than you guys that love the city and that really have the best of intentions for the city. And you guys have been role models to me, from business people and political people that I've been watching, that have really made me interested in giving back and being part of that. And
that's
so,
what I love.
If that means that, again, that the majority of the people in District 2 see it the same way I do and want to elect me in November, then I'm going to do like you guys do and work my what off to make sure that I represent them the way that they would want to be represented.
God willing.
And we're how many weeks away?
Well,
We're 83 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because so basically the deadline makes it a 90-day cycle, and we just passed the deadline last
If
Friday.
Barry's on there, him and I were talking about that yesterday. How many? You can always work backwards.
Barry knows everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
Barry does know everything.
Barry knows all.
Yeah.
He's a very astute individual,
Yes, he is.
especially politically. He's he definitely knows what he's talking about.
Well, thanks for coming in today, Andy. We're gonna close out Betamax tonight, you guys. Joe, tell everybody again. Rob, send us home.
Yeah, Betamax tonight. Put the graphic up, Joe. Hope everybody shows up. It is our last concert in the park, and then we kind of get our Thursday nights back again to do other stuff. But but we are going to miss hanging out with 4,000 to 5,000 of our closest friends in the city of Santee and having just a great old time. Maybe we'll see you at some of the local restaurants now. Dino's Pub is always
watch
a
the
great place.
Pods.
Watch the Padres. They're on a hot streak.
Watch the Padres at the Sportsplex. What? Who said that? Who said that?
So until next week, and we do have a great guest coming next week. It's actually going to be Dean. It's going to be Dean from Dino's Pub.
Yep.
Now that he's not having to be at the concerts, setting up his whole.
He's got his Thursdays back.
Yeah, he's got his
Got his
Thursdays
Thursdays
back. So
back.
he's going to join us and talk about his restaurants, his aspirations in the city of Santee, everything he's done here on Santee Park Recreation Committee, all of that kind of stuff, bringing concerts into the city of Santee. Dean's done a whole lot. Can't wait to hear more about that. But until then, we'll catch you all next week. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless Santee. Love you all.
See you tonight.
Bye-bye.